Hey guys, this is Tim for the Review Misfits here, and today I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on the upcoming handhelds being the Nintendo 3DS and the PSP2, codenamed NGP. Now first off, I'm excited about the games coming out for 3DS. I hear they're making new Kid Icarus. I've seen previews on IGN about it. I think it's pretty cool. I've heard about a new Mario Kart and that they're remaking Legend of Zelda. And also, they're making Nintendogs and Cats game. I haven't really cared for Nintendogs, but other people have, so that's pretty cool. And also, I'm pretty excited to see that they're finally adding an analog stick. Hopefully, it won't be as bad as a nub stick on the PlayStation Portable, but you know, it doesn't seem so bad. I guess I'll see what it's like once I try it out. Now, to talk about my cons about the 3DS, first of all, I'm pretty fed up with the price being $250, considering, it's a Game Boy, basically. It also kind of concerns me, because parents out there probably won't buy a 3DS because, the majority audience of a DS owners like from age 8 to 16, and considering that we're in a recession right now, most parents don't want to pay that much just so their kids can play portable video games. And personally, I'm gonna wait until they make a remake of the 3DS because it seems good so far, but I'm hoping that they will most likely lower the price. And also, because I'm not really a huge fan of the battery life. They say it's supposed to be from 3 to 5 hours, which may sound like a lot, but when you're, going somewhere, which is the main purpose of a handheld, you want to have a huge battery life, and 3 to 5 hours just isn't enough for me. I mean, the old DS models had, I think it was like up to 10 hours, and everyone liked it that way. I have no idea why they decided to lower it. I guess maybe so it would cost less, because I just don't know. I hope that if they redesign the model in a couple years, I hope that they extend it maybe a couple more hours, let's say 5 to 7, or I don't know, maybe somewhere above. But besides that, I think it's a pretty cool console, and I hope to see what happens for it, but just for now, I'm not really happy about what they're doing and what's going to turn out to be like. I don't know. We'll see. Now, to talk about the PSP2, first of all, I'm happy that they're finally making a new PSP model after all the redesigns. Same goes for 3DS, but, I think Sony kind of needed it more because I didn't really care for the original PlayStation Portable. I'm happy to see that they added 2 analog sticks. And they're not those little nub sticks anymore, they're actual real analog sticks. They've added a touchscreen, and I think they said one on the front and one on the back. But I personally don't really care about that because I haven't really found touchscreens to really go well with portable gaming. I prefer buttons, but maybe that's just me. So yeah, I'm happy about that. But like the cons for the 3DS, the same kind of goes for the PSP2. I'm really disappointed with it. They say that it's going to cost from $300 to $350, and that's about more than a PS3, which is stupid. I think the PS3 experience should be, kept at home. Not, I really don't need, that good graphics when I'm, going places. Because they're talking about how it has PS3-like graphics. I honestly don't care. I'm not much of a graphics fan. Maybe some people are, but I just never really gave a shit because, I think gameplay really matters more. Graphics come second, and they really don't mean much besides looks of the game, and I really don't care about that. So, I'm hoping that maybe they'll lower the price of that too, because what it seems like here is that they're pulling a PS3, kind of like how when the PS3 first came out, it was $600, which was way too overpriced for a game console, and obviously it showed because no one bought it until like 2 years later when they finally lowered the price to $400, just like the 360. I hope they do that with the PSP2 as well, but I honestly have no interest in it. And they were talking about backwards compatibility. Honestly, it doesn't really bother me because, in my opinion, most of the PlayStation Portable games consist of weird Japanese RPGs and watered down PS2 ports, like Rock Band, Olympic Planet, and like all that stuff. And I've tried them out before. They're okay, but I'd rather get the full experience by playing it on the console. And that's all the PSP seems to offer, just watered down versions of their bigger brother games. And it's like every single every single PlayStation 3 original that's been on the console has been like ported down to the PSP in a smaller, not as good version. That's why I wasn't really too happy when I got my PSP. I thought it was going to be like really cool, but I wasn't too happy, I guess. I kind of wish that they would kind of go for the Nintendo approach, being, instead of taking a game and just porting it on the PSP as like a smaller version, I wish that they would basically take the franchise and sort of make a whole new, what I'm trying to say, I just think they should like take a whole new idea on a franchise, like they do in God of War with Chains of Olympus and Ghost of Sparta. But like all these other games, they just seem like really crappy. Like, take it like this: when Super Nintendo came out, it had Super Mario World, right? And then the the original Game Boy, had Super Mario Land, which instead of being like a watered down version, it was like its own game, and everyone liked it that way, and it sold well. I wish that Sony would do the same thing too, because then it would actually distinguish the PlayStation Portable from the PS3, because all it really looks like is it's just a little PS3, except not as fun because you can't do as much. And I'm sure other people agree that it's just not fun. And I wish that like they had like more reasons for people to buy the console rather than just to play like less versions of the game. But I don't know, I guess that's how Sony does it. That's kind of their marketing strategy, but I just don't really care for it. Now, to go back on the 3DS, I think what they should do is release that version, the version that has itself, and then release a standard version of the 3DS, except without the 3D, without an internet browser and like all the bells and whistles. Because let's face it, 3D is a fucking trend that comes and goes, and I personally don't care for it. I don't need it, and I'm sure other people would agree as well. Like, they even say that if you play for like 30 minutes or longer, the battery, well, first of all, the battery probably drain a lot, but they say that it's like really, really, really bad for your eyes, and it sounds like the Virtual Boy. Like, if you play for like a small amount of time, you'll get headaches and cramps and like all this shit, and I don't think anyone wants that, obviously. So they should make a standard version, obviously costing less, except they take out they should like take off everything except the basically gameplay features, because that's really, in my opinion, all it needs, and that's all it should need, because it's a video game console. I don't need the internet browser. If you guys have used a Nintendo internet browser in the past, you probably have been aware that it's slow. You can't really do as much on it as you can do on a computer, and also it misses like a shitload of plugins. Like, there's no Java, there's no Flash, and there's none of that stuff really, which really sucks. That's why, like, what I was saying before about like they should get rid of like all that stuff, it's because like people already have gadgets right now, like iPod touches and stuff, that already have that stuff and can do it better. Like, I don't need a camera. The camera probably sucks anyway. On the DSi, the camera is 0.3 megapixels, which is even as good as a cell phone camera. Like the iPod Touch has a way better internet browser. I'm sure the camera's even better, and it can just do everything else like way better than a DS can, because it's built for doing that stuff. Just like how the DS is built for playing games. That's where it should stand. Same kind of goes for the PSP2. Well, actually, maybe not exactly, because, the only thing that's really making it seem like it costs much is the graphics, and that's kind of what that's the graphics is basically what it has going for it, so you can't really do much about it. But oh, hold on, sorry about that. Yeah, that was a phone call. Anyway, so I'm kind of disappointed of the upcoming handhelds out so far. I don't really know what's going to happen. I don't know if people are going to buy these consoles because they cost so much. I personally just going to wait until they make the redesigns like everyone else does. Kind of like, you know, how the PSP 2000 came out and, you know, the DS Lite came out, which were designed to be better and cheaper consoles. And people liked it that way. I'm not really sure, though. I'm starting to think that smartphones, being Android OS and iPhone OS, are going to be the future of gaming, because people don't seem to want to go to stores and buy full $30 games anymore. They want to buy like $2 apps because they're cheaper, they're easier to get, and that people find them more fun. They don't want to play like full games. If they want to do that, they'll get an Xbox or a PS3 or a Wii or a PC. It's basically what I'm saying. And, you know, people prefer that more because it can do everything they want to do. It can, you know, play videos, it can play music, you can go on the internet, and you can play games. And it can do it all well. Unlike the 3DS where, you know, it can play games well, but everything else is just, you know, fails. Same with the PSP2. I'm not sure this will be true, though, that the smartphones will dominate, but so far iPhone has sold more than the PSP, so I don't really see the PSP2 selling so well considering the price compared to all these other devices out there. So yeah, those were my thoughts on the upcoming handhelds so far, and you know, leave me your thoughts about what you think. I probably started a flame war just by, you know, making this rant, but you know, it was my thoughts. I thought I had to let it out. I've been thinking about this for quite some time now. So see you guys, and make sure to watch upcoming videos of the Review Misfits.